So today we are here for our second episode of Fireside Chats, and I want to welcome everyone here where we share real conversations, fresh ideas, and the heart behind Mingle. So let's dive in by having the co-founders introduce each other.
Oh, I love
Let's
it.
roll.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll introduce Monica M. Henderson, who is a genius at many things, honestly, many things. But her specialty here is the structure. So she is the queen architect of structure up in these parts. Um, and also a professional bully and quite funny also. So that's Monica M. Henderson.
All right. And Regina Curtis is weird and wonderful. She is creative and she's a best and she's gonna help you get your shit together and keep your shit together and then fuck it all up and then put it back together again. Um,
Facts.
she works in the messy middle, even though she hates being there herself with everyone else. Um, and she is a bona fide genius.
Mhm. Thank
Woohoo.
you.
And
That
welcome.
was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. Thanks for doing that.
I love the surprise on y'all's faces, right?
Yeah, it
Which
was
leads
good.
us into our topic today. And let me give you a little bit of structure for since we have audience members. Woo! If I had noise
Yay.
things, I would have applause. Um, the structure is we're going to have conversation with the co-founders, and then towards the end, we'll open it up to the audience if they have questions. All right. So the topic for today is, and we'll just go kind of free talking, I guess, free rolling. I have this thing about rolling. What is the difference? What is the difference between co-creation and collaboration?
Oh,
I
So,
love this. I love this topic. So I'll dive in with it.
go for
Um,
it.
this actually came up, it's come up many times recently, but one of the things, and part of that is because like I'm in my personal autumn season, and one of the themes in autumn is co-creation, specifically in the first sojourn of early autumn. But it also is the season of autumn, whether, and I'm not talking about weather seasons, I'm talking about energetic seasons, in case you hadn't caught on to that. But the one of the energetic signatures of autumn is collaboration, right? And so it made me start thinking about what is the difference between collaboration and co-creation, right? What are the nuances there? And then fast forward to a little while after I had started kind of thinking about this, Monica and I were working on something, and I realized that what makes our co-creation so successful is that we actually are both willing and consciously, I'm going to say this and it might sound funny, but losing ourselves in the collaborate, like in the co-creation, right? Like in order to truly co-create, you have to be willing to like lose your own identity in some way in order to show up fully in that to create something truly new. Whereas a collaboration is like, I have my piece, you have your piece, and we're working together to create something together. But co-creation is like, it is truly, it's like one, the energy is not one or the other, it's both and that's how I would see them being different.
beautiful. Thank you
There's
for your
no,
share.
there's no need for me to answer. That was that was my paper, professor. That was
You get an
that was
A, gold star.
that was the group project.
Point made. There we go.
Point made. Yeah, like you did a fantastic job of really kind of framing that. And like the Amazon commercial says, ditto with that guy. Yeah. So for sure, what she said.
I love it.
Do you want to expand on it a little bit?
Oh, usually I'm not the expansion person. That would be Regina's
That would
job.
be me.
Uh, but
Ooh,
I
tell
guess
us more. Tell us more about
I
that.
guess I will take on that. So what's really interesting about our collaboration is I'm a bullet point person. I am succinct. In a lot of ways, I am like, let's get down to the nitty gritty. Like, what's the basic fundamental understanding that needs to come from here? And that's usually what I bring to the table is the sometimes people think maybe possibly oversimplified, but the most simplest form of what is trying to be conveyed, where Regina does the big, expansive understanding of something. And so what makes that wonderful is when we come into the like co-creation space, we are allowed to be exactly that for each other, and for whatever it is we're building. So the perspective is on my side is always like, what is the like simplest, basic core message or core objective or core thing that's trying to be achieved here, so that I make sure that we don't lose track of that, right? Where she's like, okay, but like if we get down to the core, there's still nuance that isn't explained in that core. And then she expands out from there all the nuance and the color and the flavor and the textures and all the things. A lot of the times with our co-creation, I always say I'm the architect, like I'm putting walls up and making sure that the plumbing is functional. And she's like, yes, but this color is odd for people. We need to like change the wall colors, and like we need some textures on the floor, and let's put in a couch, and they need a light over here. And then like she makes it more comfortable for like humans to human in. And so that really helps um, create a space that feels both very structured and rigid and also like fluid and like lovely and like tangible and textured and like just comfortable to be in.
Beautiful. Thanks for that. Going back to your original start of this part of the conversation, you said you're not the expansion person. That comes back to how you designate each other with different energies. Can you share those energies? Because I've heard you speak it before, but not necessarily in a larger crowd. So can you expand
Yeah.
on not expand, whatever word you are.
Okay. So when it really boils down to it, there are questions, right? There are 6 questions that have to be answered one time, right? There's why, how, what, when, here, where, who. No matter what you're doing, no matter how you're seeing something, no matter how your perspective, when you're trying to convey something, a concept, an image, a pathway, you have to answer those questions. What we have figured out in our collaboration, and it took some time. We didn't show up here, right? We knew we were different, but we didn't know in what way we were different until we kind of like discovered that there are 2 fundamental questions that each of us answers almost all the time. If you ask us a question, we're going to give you one of these two types of answers. I almost always will answer the what, like what, and sometimes I may be even guilty of answering who, right? And she almost always will answer why, and almost always answer when as well. The third 2 sections of questions usually come from the other person, right? That's usually their answer. So how and where, that's their answer. But when we come together to collaborate, we know I'm going to have the answer for who, and I'm going to have the answer for what, and she's going to have the answer for when, and she's going to have the answer for why. And that the thing that we're in co-creation with, because there's always a third piece that we're in co-creation with. And when we say that, it could be a person, it could be a product, it could be
the universe.
it could be the universe. There's always a third thing that we are coming together to co-create with. That usually has the answer of how and where. And so because we are very clear in our role in that like triangular kind of space, it makes it really easy now for us to go, okay, I don't know what this answer is. What kind of question? What am I trying to answer? I'm trying to answer this question. Okay, that's not a me question. That is a Monica question. Or that's not, that's not a me question. That's a Regina question. Like we can actually delineate very easily like who would most likely have the answer to something. And it makes our building go boom, 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 boom. So Usually is a whirlwind if you've ever been in our meetings while we're working on something. If you like pop in and we're like in the middle of something, there's usually some crazy
There's like a little
non.
bit of like twin language happening too. Like we have our own language that like there's words that we skip over because like so my partner speed reads and I joke around with her. I'm like, "Oh, you just skip some words." And she's like, "No, that's not what speed reading is. There's just words I don't need to read." And I'm like, "So you skip some words?" Like because they're not like you've trained yourself to not have to like sit with them, I guess. There's something about us that when we get in a space and we're in that creation space that we do that too, right? Like there are some words that we don't need to say, or you'll
Yeah.
hear us say things like, "Oh, is that purple?" Or is that like we'll ask, "Is it a color?" Or is that spring? Or is that like where does that live in something that might sound to somebody like that's totally crazy, but this is where I think it's really important to kind of look at that initial description of what I was talking about of like losing your own identity consciously. Not like, oh, I don't know who I am anymore, but like allowing yourself to like really morph into the space of co-creation and making space for this new this new thing, this new energy, this new way of working together. It's like a third thing that lives both within you and also outside of you.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I'm not sure that it's fully clarified, and I think more journeys into these episodes will help with that. But I feel a shift in questioning coming, and I want to take a pause for the audience. If anyone has any questions about this portion of the segment, please unmute yourself and ask your question or not.
Our
I would
comments
ask,
welcome. Oh, go ahead, Gil. You have a question.
no, go for it. I'd rather
I was
listen.
just gonna say I've witnessed this and it's pretty fun.
Witnessed their meetings.
I've
Yeah.
I've witnessed their co-creation and talking in snippets, I'll call it.
Speaking in snippets, I like that.
Speaking in snippets, yes.
Yeah. So
Ask your question.
cool, thanks. I've been away for a while and I'm just coming back. This is the first time back into the environment. So let's just say I'm a blank slate and a complete newcomer. What I heard was inspiring to me um, since I've been introduced to the Mingle platform and idea. I wasn't ready for what you're talking about now. And as I'm listening to you now, I feel I feel inspiration uh, for the way that you're approaching things. I'm really resonating with, and it's the way I've been doing it in what I've been doing. So thank you for listening to that. The question is, let's say I come in with ideas, and it would be more in the thing I'm thinking of right now, instead of it would be more co-creation or it'd be more collaboration. Let's say collaboration is one of them to me seems alchemical, where a completely new product, a new environment is created, and the
Mhm.
identities aren't clear. Now it's its own thing.
Hmm.
Whereas, and so which one is that? That's co-creation,
I would say
Co-creation.
that's more co-creation. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, what if I've got something that just hasn't been ready, and I'd like to collaborate with this process and still have some ownership of it,
Yeah.
but be willing to. So my question is, how do I interface what I'm bringing to this community so everybody can benefit?
Yeah. I think what is important to know and the way that Monica and I work together and what we've created in the infrastructure that is here and the culture that is here in in many different ways is a co-creation between the two of us, but it is a co-creation between all of us, honestly, right? So but within that space, so actually, I'm going to give a little sneak peek into a future fireside chat, so I won't give too much about this, but what's coming, sneak peek, is that Mingle is a movement, not a membership. And the reason why I want to bring that in here is because it's so much more than just a platform. It's so much more than a space for us to like put things on a board and say like, here's what I'm doing, right? It's just announcements. It is building relationships and it goes those relationships go deep and they go wide and they look all different things at different times, right? But the space, the work that we're doing here, everybody is contributing to it in some way. And so there are many collaborations that are happening. Like Monica and I also collaborate, right? Not everything between us is a co-creation, but there are many things where we're collaborating, right? Where I definitely have my identity and she has her identity, and we bring those two things together and they support each other beautifully. And that is true too. I mean, this space that we're sitting in here right now is a collaboration between Darcy and Monica and myself, and now all of you, right? So anyone who comes into it. But it came from Darcy saying, hey, I think this is needed. And we said, great, make
Do
it
it.
happen. We're here for it. You
Yes.
know, like let's do it.
Throw it right back on me. Do it. No.
So, to that, I'll say that there are a lot of things in the Mingle universe, right, in our space here that are not, they weren't initiated as ideas by us, but through someone else saying, hey, I think this is needed, or hey, I think this could be cool, or hey, here's something that I have to contribute, but I don't know what else goes along with this, right? Sometimes people say, I have this very specific thing. I know exactly what I need, who's up for it. So there's many different forms in which that happens. I would say that it really has to do with what is it that you want? Who do you want to do it with? And when and where do you want to get started, right? So this is me being the Cheshire Cat. So Aubriana, Monica's daughter, Aubriana says she says I'm the Cheshire Cat. She's like, I ask you a question and you ask me a question in return. So I could see myself just doing that. So
Well,
does my question answer your question?
I
How would that feel if it did? No, no, I was just an improv guy, so I'm going to ask you a question back. Yeah, yeah. So of course it does. So I'm getting the idea that um, it's so I think my question was geared toward the two of you as pillars of that concept. And what I'm hearing you say back is, yeah. And now it's morphed into what we intended. Everyone is fractally doing that. And so you, in the networking, create your own growth.
yeah, I will
Mhm.
say that this space is most successful when people trust the space and the process. And trust begot trust. So in order for us to lead in a space where true collaboration and true co-creation is happening, we had to model what it looked like to be kind of selflessly collaborating and selflessly co-creating so that they can see it as possible. Um, it is very clear when you're in my energy. It is very clear when you're in Regina's energy when you're in our products that belong to our personal brands. Very, very, very clear.
What's very clear?
It's super clear, right? Like
The
my energy,
energy of when you're in mine, when you're in
yeah,
Monica's energies.
yeah, they're super,
Different,
it's super obvious that
different perspective.
it is a different experience altogether.
Right,
We
right.
say exactly the same thing, almost. Sometimes even use the same words, but the emphasis on the syllable is different in the different areas, right?
Yeah.
And so you get the same message. And there's a few members who have done both of us, both of our products in the same day. And they're like, yeah, that's exactly what they said earlier, except for the way that you're saying it has a different emphasis, right? Like it's a different part of it that you're looking at, even though we're looking at the same thing. And so when you're coming into the space, anybody coming into the space to co-create and to collaborate, what I would encourage you to do is to extend trust first by receiving from someone else before you step in to make everybody else trust you. A lot of the times when people come into new communities, they kind of want to be like, here's what I can do, here's what I can give, here's what I can show, da 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 da. And that works in other communities, I think. I don't know. I don't really hang out in those places. But here, the best strategy is actually to come in as a learner and an observer of the other people's energy, and then meet, and then you'll see where you'll see your fit really, really easily, right? And everyone here is super willing to collaborate, like obnoxiously and overwhelmingly like excited to collaborate and to do things together and to support each other and to show up for each other. Like we are addicted to each other. We can't get enough of each other. And so we in this space often will like just sit in the room, right, in one of the breakout rooms, and there'll be 18 different collaborations happening in the same room in small sentences, right? And it's like partially out loud, partially through Zoom chat. And we're all sitting in the same space, like, oh, well, do you have this? Okay, thank you. And then like, oh, I need help with this. I got you. Okay. Like there's like this real camaraderie. But in order to do that, you have to trust the process and you have to trust the people who are in the space. And so that just takes time. And because we are a show improved kind of community, I would encourage you, like, as you're diving back in, just to keep coming to different things and just sitting and experiencing the community, experiencing the different activities, experiencing the people. Allow your calendar to kind of be your tour guide, right? Like, so go in and book some stuff on your calendar and then allow that to be your tour guide of like where you're going to naturally fall in collaboration, because that actually is the magic behind Mingle. There's always something to do.
I think that you also just brought in a third co word, which is co-working, even though you didn't say it. What
Yeah.
you were talking about is really how we do co-working. So, um, we don't do anything normal. Like we don't do anything in the conventional way. We do all things inside out, upside down, and backwards, and sometimes all of those things all at once because it's like Willy Wonka and the up in here. And you this is funny. This chat happens at the end of the day where I'm just like kind of punchy. So you get like you get tired, Regina, but like it not in the like super sleepy, but just kind of punchy. Anyway, the reason I bring this in is because what happens in a lot of co-working spaces is people are physically in the same space, but not actually interacting with each other. And so it takes a little getting used to because sometimes people are like, well, how can I actually get anything done when there's people talking and there's interactions happening? But here's the piece that Monica didn't say, which I think I want to look at that. I'm going to expand. I'm going to expand it out to say that you also have to be your own best advocate, right? Meaning that, yes, come, show up, receive, show up, listen, show up, contribute, and participate. But you have to be able to hold your own space of like, this is what I came here for, this is what I need, right? And so when you come in to like show up and receive, the people who tend to be attracted to this community are open heart, generous, giving, like if all the words that mean that like amped up to the top version of it, right? Everybody is so loving, caring, generous, willing to help out. And what happens when that's the case and everybody comes in that space, there can be, and I'm not saying that this is what happens because for the most part, people are really like, we will hold you accountable to get your own shit done, right? Like we'll be like, but what did you come for, right? Before you start pouring into me, not that I don't want to accept it because I definitely do, but like, what are you here for, right? And so when you state that in the beginning and we say it out loud, then we can help hold each other accountable. Now, can we sit in a room? I think Marvis And Monica and Aubriana and I spent at least, what, 4 hours together today. Um, Darcy was there for a little bit of it. Aubriana was kind of in and out. There were some other
Jade was
people in and
also,
out, but like,
yeah, Jade was here in person, like on the other side of the computer.
oh,
Yeah.
I missed that. I didn't even know she was there. Um, And, but we were all working on our own stuff and helping each other simultaneously because since we're all interacting with similar projects and we are collaborating in a lot of ways, I could be working on my thing, Marvis could be working on hers, Monica's working on her thing. And as she comes to a point where she's like, oh, I need this piece of information, or let me throw something out there because I need some reflection on it. She could do that. We could help her and go right back into it, right? It's like this seamless kind of thing. So collaboration, co-creation,
Co-work.
co-working, all different things, different, slightly different things, but kind of in the same energy and spirit.
Thank you. Nicely shared. So we're going to pause again. Marvis, Doreen, not that I'm excluding you, Gil, but Marvis or Doreen, do you have any questions?
No question.
No question, comment?
Rude remark.
I'm just enjoying this immensely. I
See, it
like
was a good
punchy
idea, you
Regina.
guys.
I like punchy
We
Regina.
didn't, we never
Punchy
argued
Regina
that it
is
was a good
fun.
idea.
I didn't
Maybe
necessarily.
just argued about the time. Who knows?
No, it was an
Oh,
argument of who was in control of it. It was
oh,
Ah,
it was Darcy arguing that we needed to be in control of it and us telling her, no, you need to be in control of it.
And
so that
clearly, 2 against 1 wins.
right, and that could be another comment actually. Um, Somebody said Regina answers the why, right?
Hmm.
And then she answered Gil's question with a question. Regina is very good at that. So if you all need a reflection of yourself when you're trying to figure something out, Regina is the one to definitely talk to. If you need it like in your face, this is what you need to like answer your own question. I will support you, but answer your own question. That's who she is for sure.
Thank you.
for sure.
You're welcome.
The queen
It's
of questions.
effective. It's effective.
Oh, we should make you a crown with like question out of question marks.
That could be fun. I'm the question queen. Yes. Um, yeah, I'll often like reframe it and kind of give it back to you just in different language. Um, because it's not that sometimes I can hear that the question that you're asking is not actually the question that you need to ask. And but you're not far off from it, right? It's like you've got the right, it's like she said earlier, it's like the what is it? The
Emphasis on
emphasis is on the
the
wrong syllable, and it's like you were saying the right words in the wrong order or something like that. So it's where I do feel like ever since Aubriana said that, I see myself as the Cheshire Cat. I'm like, let me just take that and twist it and send it back to you. Not twist it manipulatively, but twist it to just a different perspective so that you can see it from a slightly different angle.
yeah.
Yeah. Thank you,
So,
Doreen.
yes, thank you, Doreen. I'm sorry. I'm just
My
thinking about all
pleasure.
these different
No,
questions.
you're all good. We are good. Continue
So,
on.
as we're in the, how do I put this? Not necessarily in the past, but there's a flow. Like as you do oracle cards, there's the past, present, and future. Looking at the future of Mingle, is there anything that you would like to share about anything that is imminently coming up or something? Oh, look at those eyebrows. Monica, go.
I'm like, which things? Of course,
So
there's always something.
so much is always happening. So what's interesting is, okay, so if you have ever sat in on one of Regina's charting your course um, sessions where she's talking about like there's layers of influence, right? There's layers of things that are happening. In Mingle, there are several layers of things that are happening at any given time. And what you see is actually is the almost always the tip of the iceberg of what is happening underneath the experience. So the other piece is that we do what is called responsive building. And a lot of communities were done on purpose. This one was not. It was in response to a need. And then when it came from my side, right? And then from Regina's side, I think it was the same thing. It was in response to a need. Well, like these people keep saying that they want to get together, so let me find ways to do that. The same thing with my side. I was tired of them complaining about having action plans and not knowing what to do with them. And so I created an incubator, and then that created the co-working space. And right, so there's like these accidental things that came up. So how we got here was based in a responsive build, right? Someone had a need. We then built the infrastructure to support them, because if they have that need, there are probably 1 out of every 10 people who probably have that same,
yeah,
right? And so know that any new things that we roll out in the community was not because Regina and I were sitting around thinking, well, there's nothing else to do. Let's go ahead and build, grow, expand, push the narrative of this thing. This past year, what we have gotten was a glimpse of what it's like to like get to know each other in 3D. And that is a little addictive. It's a little addictive. I can say in the last 6 months, everyone but Gil, who is in this room right now, I have physically hugged, and almost all of them inside of their own neighborhood. Almost all of them. But we have kind of started really creating some in-person experiences and some hybrid experiences that we'll be rolling out in 2026, starting in January with the immersive intensive, where actually my collaborators for that experience and technically co-creators are actually Darcy, Regina, and Marvis. And that experience, Gil, you'll love this. That experience was actually an accidental co-creation of me and Darcy in a misunderstanding.
Yes.
And it was so successful that we said, let's try that again. And so then we wrote Regina in, and Regina wrote Doreen in, and then we did it again. And then we decided, well, we should probably do this on purpose. And so now we have a series of immersive experiences that are coming to different parts of the country. And I think the last one of the year is actually going to be with Marvis out in North Carolina in September. Is that the last one of the year? I do believe that one's the last one of the year.
I think that's the last one of the year. Yeah.
Yeah. So the last immersive experience, like, so it'll start with me, it'll end with Marvis. And there's Maryland, there is, we're going back to Philly with Doreen. We'll be in lots of different places. We'll be in Atlanta for one of the immersive
I think we're doing one event in Chicago and one in Atlanta, but both are my realm.
Yeah. So we have decided to kind of take this party on the road. We also have a couple of retreats that are coming forward because, again, the addictive properties, Regina and I decided that like we needed to be in the same working space. We decided to go ahead and do that in Greece. And then we were like, everybody should be here. Why aren't they here? So let's come back and bring everybody with us. So in May, we'll be doing that. So we have that happening, but also a lot of the work that I've been doing here in Los Angeles has yielded our ability to actually take everything that we're doing in the cloud together collectively and bringing it to a hybrid experience here. So there are programs called Teams, Mingle Teams that are going to be coming into the fold, where it's different offices being kind of supported by the Mingle's infrastructure to build their leadership. And there's also our enterprise business villages, which are things like we have them called business development
Improvement district.
districts, but it may be called something different in your own town. But it's something like a chamber or like things where there's like a lot of businesses that are a part of it that will be joining us in the Mingle sphere as well. And we'll be having hybrid experiences to support them. So there is a lot coming because we have already had the yeses to them. And who knows where we didn't know there was going to be a guest, because like I said, the experience with Darcy was a misunderstanding that turned into a very beautiful experience in Seattle, that then turned into a product. So the co-creation sometimes is on purpose. The co-creation sometimes is a complete and utter accident. But we are always, when we're open, like I said, when we come into those experiences, trusting that the other person has is in integrity with what they're trying to do, and vice versa. It really makes that co-creation and the collaboration part substantially easier to kind of negotiate.
So I think what's important to know is that what is coming, in addition to the what, right? Oh, the how is important in this instance. It is really more co-creations and more collaboration. So Monica and I have been obviously co-creating for quite some time at this point. And so now it's time to, we have the infrastructure really solidified here as to, like how to navigate this space. We are a community of communities. We offer tools and experiences and development in personal, professional, and business development, all three kind of areas. So all of that kind of foundational work really is established at this point. So that means that we get to play, right? We get to come to you and play. We get to help you build things in your genius, right? We get to take the things, the energy and the way that we've been supporting each other and co-creating together, and we get to turn that outward and invite you into it. And that's what I'm really excited about.
Beautiful. And this is the gems that are rolling off your lips that I wanted, purely selfish. I wanted everybody to hear, because we don't get to feel the genius behind the scenes. And so it's really, really important. Being conscious of time, I'm going to close this segment of this episode, but do again want to open it up to everybody in the audience. If you have any other questions, I would say not necessarily on topic, but I guess it could be a rude remark, but a rude question.
Yes.
We'll take the rude remarks too. It's fine.
Take it.
Does anybody have anything?
Well, I have to say one of the highlights of my this year was at the airport and watching the three of them roll down the street, and some was hanging out of the vehicle,
That would be me.
calling my name. And
like,
it was
the party bus is here.
The party FJ.
and at that
I was
moment,
not hanging out the window because I was driving.
You were driving, so that was good. Although probably both of us were hanging out the window because we were both on that side of the car. So
and that was it was a surreal moment, because I had just gotten off the plane and they were coming to pick me up, take me to the hotel. But just to hear them and see them in person, they know I'm not a hugger, but I was willing to hug them that weekend.
you didn't have a choice. We jumped out of that car and like attacked
I
you.
was
So
so yeah, if you have a chance to participate in the immersive, I will wholeheartedly say do it, because you just don't know the energy that's surrounding in that moment in time. So Darcy and I, we haven't had a chance to hug yet, but it's coming.
coming soon.
Oh, it's coming so soon, because in January we'll both be in the same space. I do feel like the world is going to tilt on its axis with the two of you in the same. Like, I know me and Regina, every time we get together, the world, but we like build worlds and change lives. But I feel like when the two of you get together, Rick and Frack, Darcy, like Marvis, what is it? Marcy and Darvis get together.
Marcy and Darvis.
Jeez Louise. And I'm going to have you guys together for a whole 4 days inside my space. Lord Jesus, I don't know what I was doing.
Or you knew exactly what you were
Or I knew
doing.
exactly what I was doing.
Nothing will
I
ever be the same.
never.
No, that's true. That is definitely true. No.
I would
Um,
also like to say that the emotion and the bonds that you'll build, like the emotions that come up from the work that you're doing, and it's not work, it's play, but it's also work, is going to last. It's going to last a long time, and you're never going to look at those people again the same way, and you're going to meet new people that are not going to be strangers ever again.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Doreen.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I think it's the thing that is we're to kind of come back into like what's coming next and what are we excited about is I feel like that's a question that we ask ourselves all the time. What's next? What's next? What's next? Right? And it
Literally,
doesn't come
it's
from,
literally
I
a
know we have a
conference
whole
series.
the whole next global virtual
What's next
conference.
for this? What's
Global.
next for that? Yeah.
Yeah, our next global events. So really what it is that it's not coming from that like when I worked in corporate, it was always like, great, okay, now what's next? Like it was like check, done. There wasn't time to really like embody it and celebrate it and be excited about it. But this is coming from a place of genuine excitement of like, okay, now what are we doing? Now, it's like when you go on vacation or it's like, okay, well, what's next on the itinerary or like a scavenger hunt? That kind of energy is what's coming into it. And so we are always developing what's coming next, and we are always asking what is coming next. And what it is, what I know that it is that's coming is just like an expansion that's coming in a really beautiful and grounded and um, like
Organic.
organic. Yeah, organic's a great word for it because it's not forced, but I do feel like we're about to hit a wave of like big expansion, like when the ripples happen and it's like the first one's like just a little drop and then the next one's so much bigger and then the next one's so much bigger and the next one's so much bigger. I feel like that's where we are. And I'm excited for it and I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I just heard Mingle tsunami.
A tsunami of fun coming to a town
That's
near
right.
you.
Exactly. Wear your suits, snorkel gear. Right.
Yes.
So I want
Yes.
to
Be
thank you
prepared.
both. I want to thank you both for sharing of your genius, of the whys and hows and whats and whens and whos. Did I miss any of them? And for our audience for being here and supporting this endeavor. Any last words before we close?
Yes. Darcy, you are freaking phenomenal. And thank you so much for holding this space for us to be able to
Yes.
be in here. I know we bullied you into doing it,
Yes, you did.
but
I think Bully is your middle name. Just
you're welcome.
What I love is when people come to us and they're like, so I have this question and I think this should happen. And they go, oh, never mind. I know what you're going to say. I should just do it then. But but it's not like we don't support you in it or help you with it or like,
agreed.
you
But
know,
now I filter what I'm going to say. Okay, it's like, do I have the bandwidth to do this? It's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
because we will amplify it and we
yes,
will,
yes,
yeah, there will be a structure and there will be amplification, right? Because you've got Monica as the structure and me as the amplification.
yeah, I'll say, so what are you going to do about it? And she goes, so why not? Why not you?
But
and why not now?
when are you going to do that? Oh, no, you can do it quicker than that.
I feel like that's so true. There's nothing like the present moment. I mean, I know, and I've said this before. Regina probably knows what I'm about to say. I have been talking about wanting to do a newsletter for 2 years, 2 years. And my big hang up was how do I format a newsletter? How do I fit everything I want on the page? How do I make my local corner be like the support local corner be like such a highlighted point, even though it has nothing to do with anything that I do, but also I'm shouting out somebody else and then I'm sharing that with them and then hopefully they'll remember me and they'll feel good about themselves and they'll realize that they are appreciated even if like their life doesn't feel like it looks like that on the outside.
Mhm.
And it was like, duh, I can just make a web page that has the stuff on it and just send it with a link in an email, and did it in a day.
And it's fabulous.
Woo,
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then I was told I wasn't speaking to humans.
woo.
That would be me. I did say that.
So the second newsletter I wrote twice.
And I read both of them, and one was very much like everyday human language, and one was your other audience, which are your peers, which do
Yes.
not speak the everyday human language that we all do. So,
Exactly.
and so you got two for one.
Super.
Exactly.
You're welcome. See, if
So
you're
I
welcome.
wrote it. I literally wrote it and was like, this is not for human consumption, and rewrote it.
Buddy. Amplification in progress.
Yeah, there you
Mhm.
go. That's what it looks like,
Exactly.
folks.
That's
So
what
if
it
you
looks
want
like.
more of that, come play with us.
Come play.
And that's the ending right there. Come play with us. If you find this on YouTube or whatever social media site this may migrate to one day, please come play with us.
Love it.
Like and subscribe.
Yes, like and subscribe. I don't
I
know
did
how
that.
to do YouTube, but yes. Wave goodbye.